r/AskReddit. What's the most embarrassing / cringy thing you've accidentally shown someone, or something they accidentally saw, while using your phone or computer? Father-in-law was looking at photos on my phone with me. I got a text from my wife that said, "I've been a naughty beach. You need to come home and slap my butt." I turned to him and said, "What kind of daughter did you raise?" I learned that day. A. Turn off preview. 3. Do not joke about a man's daughter. Oh god. My internet was down. Had to have the Bell alien guy come to fix it. When it was fixed he asked me to just check it was working properly. So I refreshed a tab and it instantly opened the porn I was watching before the internet died. As a 21-year-old woman, that was the most horrifically embarrassing moment of my life. He then said, "Is there anything else you need?" And I became worried I was living in the plot to the world's most cliché porn. The unexpected ending made me smile. My fiancée was sending me some sexy nudes on Snapchat one day. She had a bit too much to drink by this time. I got all of them, but so did one of her sisters and a few she accidentally posted to her story. Luckily one of her female friends saw it and told her, so she could delete them before anyone else saw them. Her sister snapped her back a thumbs up that said, "Didn't want to see that, but hey nice vag. Lol." She was incredibly embarrassed naturally, and it took a while before I got saucy pics again. Hey sis. Nice vag. During college my girlfriend worked night shifts, so I would sometimes crash at her place, that way I'd be there when she got off in the mornings. One night her roommates had a few people over to drink and I, being alone, decided to crank one out. Spent about 3 to 5 minutes watching some material, wondering why the audio wouldn't work on my phone. Then I hear an eruption of laughter from the kitchen. It was a small apartment. Turns out I was the last one that connected to the Bluetooth speaker they were using and was blasting my porn audio to an apartment full of people. I have never been so embarrassed in my life, and I laid there for what felt like an eternity afterwards listening to them all die laughing. Heard enough stories about this scenario where I always turn my Bluetooth off before I watch porn. I do now. Trust me, once you do it once you never let it happen again. It guy here. Way back in the day I was using Netscape, which had this feature of popping up the last site you were on. I believe this was default. Anyways, I had legitimately been doing some research on hacking since I was the administrator for a small web hosting company, so of course the sites I hit were chock full of pop-up ads with porn. So some Monday my boss and another woman, I think she was basically the EA, wanted to look at something on my computer, so I go sure, NP. Fire up Netscape and bam, up pops like 8 chicks in a line all giving blowjobs. I was pissed. Luckily they believed my story, I think, but still, embarrassing. Other than that, nothing. I'm not stupid enough to use a work phone or computer to look at art. Also LPT, if you're attached to your work VPN, don't be browsing the naughty bits. I was kind of on the flip side of this when my uncle was going through pictures of my baby cousin on his phone and swiped too far to show me a picture of my auntie standing completely naked in a doorway. The image is still burned into my mind. Oh man, that's traumatizing lol. At least it's not his dad. Why would his uncle have naked pics of his dad? A friend was showing us his holiday pictures and accidentally swiped too far and showed us all a selfie of his asshole, then one of his balls. When he tried to fix it, one of my friends sent a picture of his butthole and nuts to a Snapchat group, and in return another guy sent one back. I've seen photos of the ball sacks of more friends of mine than I'm fully comfortable with due to stuff like this. The same friend who sent it first actually showed us his nutsack out of the blue. Funny enough, he later asked us would we be surprised if he came out to us. All 5 guys in the group, I crap you not, said no at the same time. I was helping a man with some kind of intellectual impairment download a Bible app onto his phone. I had to go into his browser to search something for him, and it was all porn. About 50 tabs open, each showing what term he'd put into Google, and the search terms were the kind that a 10-year-old would use. I finished getting him the app and attempted to peace out, although not before having to tactfully decline giving him my phone number. When I sold cell phones, there was a guy that always came into the store. He had a picture of a girl spread eagle as his lock screen wallpaper. He always tried to get one of the female salespeople to help him. After the first time he came in, they would all run to the back when we saw him walking up. myself and the other guys would have to listen to him about the hot little piece of booty he had the day prior. That would be when my sister saw my vag. We recently reconnected. We had been estranged because of my absolutely insane mother. We were laughing, talking, just generally catching up on 20 years of life, and of course we were showing one another pictures of our families/houses/friends. I thought, oh, I'll pull up Google Photos, because then she can just open albums and see each person, or whatever, all at a time, and I forgot that one of the albums is called Naughty, and Google Photos chose a very naughty pic for the album cover despite my begging it to choose another. I had the app open to an album of kid pics. When I handed it over, she closed the album, swiped to see what other albums she wanted to look at, and I heard, oh. She told her fiancé we got to know one another really well in that first meeting. Older man caught me looking at boobs on my phone during a bus ride home. I quickly scrolled up, realizing that I was in public. He leaned over and said, hey, we can share. Got off 3 stops before my own. The guy probably thought it was hilarious. The old dude just wanted to show off photos of his own boobs. Not exactly accidental, but when I was 15 my mom was snooping through my phone and found a text that said, I wish I could have a girl with boobs so big I could suffocate in them. That was a cool fun time for me. What was her reaction? Well, she was looking in my phone cause she thought I was doing drugs, so she was just kind of disappointed that I was a horny little weirdo. Way back when, I was playing a bunch of World of Warcraft. This was back when people were making funny machinima YouTube videos constantly, and I had them downloaded to my computer so I could show my friends. Then one day, I set up a very early version of Plex, video streaming software, on my computer, and I hook up my TV for a small party. Little did I know, Plex scans your media library and then runs out to the internet to find a cover image that Plex thinks matches your movies, so that you have a thumbnail to click when you want to watch that video. For some of my War of Warcraft YouTube videos, it found pictures of orcs and elves fucking and threw that up on the screen. The girl I liked at the party, what the duck is that? Me, borderline speechless. I have no ducking idea. In my younger years working in desktop support, we had a guy complaining that his computer was running slow. It was literally full of horse porn. This was back in the 90 MHz Pentium days and long before people had anything better than a 57.7, correction 56K, baud modem in their house. I had to show my boss and point out that obviously, this guy was using company bandwidth. We had a fractured T1 at the time that we paid out the nose for to download non-work related material onto his company laptop, clearly in the office. This was also the same dude who got caught putting breast milk in his coffee, so there may have been a few issues there. I was on the receiving end of seeing something I shouldn't have. Early on when I was working at Geek Squad, a girl and her boyfriend came in with a MacBook saying she was having trouble emptying the recycle bin. I, forgetting that Macs don't have a right click button on the trackpad, clicked the right side of the trackpad thinking it would bring up the menu to empty the bin. You have to click with 2 fingers to get the right click options to show, just like a Windows computer, except it didn't, and the trash bin opened. Inside there were dozens of pics of this girl's tits, spread eagle, butthole, everything. I saw everything. The girl was on the other side of the computer and didn't see anything I was doing. But at this point I was freaking the duck out, and of course the computer froze for what felt like 10 minutes while the trash bin folder was still open, showing all her nudes. During this time, the girl's extremely muscular, juiced out boyfriend walked up asking her how things were going. Once he asked, she started grabbing the computer to turn it towards her. Thankfully by the time she grabbed the laptop, I was able to close out and empty the trash bin. She asked how much it would be, I told her no charge, and went on my way. I went into the back, and my boss said I looked like I had just seen a ghost. I told him what happened, and he was just laughing at me the rest of the day. Bet you learned how Macs work real quick. Huh, yep, I did. Was talking to some cute girl, it was going well, and gave her my phone to add me on Facebook. Her profile was the first profile on the recent Facebook searches. I was out of curiosity checking out my friend's girlfriend on Facebook, like not stalking her or sexualizing her. I met her once, she seemed nice, wanted to see what she was all about. My friend knocked on my door and I answered, and he came in my room and I just wasn't thinking about what I was doing because it was harmless. Then he saw my screen and was like, "Why the duck are you checking out my GF?" Edit. We laughed about it. He knew I wasn't trying to double dip, but it was an awkward moment. I was at a pool party and someone asked if they could use my iPod for the music. I obliged. He found a playlist with some songs he liked and put it in. I didn't realize it when the music started, but about halfway through making that particular playlist I experienced some heartache. So suddenly the pool party heard Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. I ran out of the pool and was like, oh, how'd that happen? Weird, and put in some metal. Smooth. If it happened today I'd just own it and laugh, but 17 to 18-year-old me was embarrassed. Wow. The first post that isn't pornographic in nature. I forgot this thread wasn't about porn until I got here. I handed my phone across the table to my grandma at a family gathering once, and she started flipping through my pictures. I warned her to stop a few times, but wasn't too insistent, because I knew if she stuck with left/right swiping it'd be quite a while before she saw anything dirty. Other family members started chiming in too. She gave it back after a bit without seeing anything. Fortunately, people don't think about other people's privacy. No, grandma, this isn't like a roll of film where someone shows you one picture you can look through the rest. This is a years-long collection of cool pictures, funny stuff I've saved, cats being cats, pretty landscapes, me and my girlfriend fucking, me taking nudes of my girlfriend, pictures of me or my girlfriend's nethers to examine a medical issue, pictures of the rafters because I can't quite see from the floor, things related to a project I'm working on, reminders to myself, all sorts of things. I had sent nudes to a guy I was dating. This was before I realized Google Photos saved everything. I proceed to delete everything from my phone and think I'm in the clear. Well, my ex logged into my Google Photos and saw I was sending nudes and freaked the duck out. I thought he had downloaded some hacker shit onto my phone. I figured it out eventually. Yeah, some guy sent me an unwanted masturbation video through Google Drive, and I got to see the list of like 20 other girls MLs he sent it to. Well, now I don't feel special anymore.